Today on Forbes, why Sam Altman won't be on the hook for OpenAI's massive spending spree. Over the last few months, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman has been on a tear of deal-making, announcing multi-billion-dollar agreements with the biggest tech companies in the world. There's Oracle, NVIDIA, Microsoft, AMD, Broadcom, and most recently, Amazon. He's committed to spending a grand sum total of $1.4 trillion on data centers in the coming years, an eyebrow-raising figure for a company which claims its annual revenue is projected to reach $20 billion this year. This begs an all-important question for the entire tech industry, whose fate is now tied to OpenAI. What happens if he can't pay? At an event this past week, OpenAI CFO Sarah Friar seemed to suggest that the government could act as a, quote, backstop for the company's commitments, comments she later walked back. And in a long-winded post on X, Altman addressed the question of what happens to OpenAI if its web of deals falls apart. He said, quote, if we screw up and can't fix it, we should fail, and other companies will continue on doing good work and servicing customers. He added, quote, we of course could be wrong, and the market, not the government, will deal with it if we are. The odds don't look great right now. In a recent blog post, Tomas Tungus, a general partner at Theory Ventures, wrote that in order to come through on its compute commitments, OpenAI's revenue would have to grow to an estimated $577 billion by 2029, roughly the size of Google's revenue that same year. That's a roughly 2,900% jump from its current projections for 2025. But OpenAI has options. D.A. Davidson analyst Gil Luria said that one likely scenario is that the AI company pays for and utilizes only a portion of the compute it has booked. In that case, companies like Oracle, Amazon, Microsoft, CoreWeave, and others will most likely renegotiate the contracts and ensure they get at least some amount of business from OpenAI, especially if the alternative is getting none at all. Luria told Forbes, quote, they don't want OpenAI to go bankrupt, so their incentive is to renegotiate. Renegotiating contracts isn't uncommon in the data center world. These contracts are extremely complex and often spread out over a span of years. Some parties can even further extend timelines in case companies aren't able to meet commitments. Clients like OpenAI are typically billed on the basis of usage. Data center expert Daniel Golding said that the, quote, big numbers being announced are often larger than what's actually committed under contract, largely due to variables like share price, data center construction cost, and GPU price. For instance, OpenAI has committed to buy up to 6 gigawatts of AMD's chips, estimated to be worth around $90 billion, in exchange for about 10% of AMD shares, no cash on either side. But that hinges on performance milestones for OpenAI's technology and commercial business, as well as AMD's share price. The contracts often have some capital I ifs. Thanks to constraints on power supply and chip availability, there's a possibility that some of these infrastructure providers aren't able to deliver in time, another opportunity for OpenAI to weasel out of paying some of the top-line number. OpenAI's $22.4 billion in total contracts with CoreWeave, for instance, can be terminated by either party at any time, quote, for cause, legal speak for things like delays. Experts note chief dealmaker Altman doesn't have anything to lose. He has repeatedly claimed he does not have a stake in the company and won't have a stake even after OpenAI has restructured to become a public benefit corporation. Ofer Eldar, a corporate governance professor at the UC Berkeley School of Law, said, quote, he has the upside, in a sense, in terms of influence, if it all succeeds. He's taking all this commitment knowing that he's not going to actually face any consequences because he doesn't have a financial stake. That's not good corporate governance, according to Joellen Posner, a professor of management and entrepreneurship at Santa Clara University's Levy School of Business. She said, quote, we allow leaders that we see as being super pioneering to behave idiosyncratically, and when things move in the opposite direction and somebody has to pay, it's unclear that they're the ones that are going to have to pay. For full coverage, check out Rashi Srivastava, Phoebe Liu, and Richard Nieva's piece on Forbes.com. This is Kieran Meadows from Forbes. Thanks for tuning in.